Welcome, everybody. Good evening. And today is day 2 of Lent season. We have decided to go as a collective to discuss the word and meditate, and also to do some sort of fasting in whatever capacity, provided we are consulting with our doctors if we are on medication, right? That's a disclaimer. So yesterday we discussed about how Israelites versus Jesus. Okay, there's no comparison, but how they navigated their wilderness experience so differently. Okay, and after the baptism of after Jesus was baptized, the Spirit led him into wilderness. Okay, it's not the Satan, but it is the Spirit that led him into the wilderness. And he fasted for 40 days and in preparation for the ministry. Okay, so we are going to read a few scriptures. Today's focus is on how Jesus handled the temptations and when it was thrown to him, and how we could do it, and bringing in a very small element of fasting and learning the word and also meditating. Okay, is everybody okay with that? Please give me a thumbs up. Okay, super. So I'm going to read it for you guys, few scriptures from Matthew chapter 4, okay, and verse number 2. And after fasting for 40 days, Jesus was extremely hungry. Then the tempter came to him and said, "How can you possibly the Son of God and go hungry?" Okay, so the challenge has always been about the identity. Okay, so there are so many different messages I can come up with from this story, these scriptures itself. But for today, we are just going to see one dimension, that is how to handle the temptations. Okay. So then the tempter came to him and said, "How can you possibly be the Son of God? If you are the Son of God, how can you be hungry?" Okay. So just command. Okay. Just do it like that. Just do it like that, and these stones will become loaves of the stones to be turned into loaves of bread. And he answered, "The scriptures say, bread alone will not satisfy, but the true life is found in every word that constantly goes from God's mouth." Okay. Then the accuser transported Jesus to the holy city of Jerusalem and perched him at the highest point of the temple and said to him, "If you are really God's son," again, the challenge is on the identity. Okay. "If you are really the Son of God, jump and the angels will catch you. For it is written in scriptures, He will command His angels to protect you, and they will lift you up so that you won't even bruise your foot on a rock." Okay, so now the second temptation is that uh, that that he can just blindly jump off uh, of the temple, from the highest point of the temple. And as the scripture says in Psalms 91, that the angels will watch over him and catch him and without any harm. Okay, and then verse number 7, it says, "Once again Jesus said to him, the scriptures say you must never put the Lord your God to a test." Okay, verse 8, "And the third time the accuser lifted Jesus up to a very high mountain range and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and all the splendor that goes with it." Okay, "All of these kingdoms I will give it to you," the accuser said, "if only you will kneel down before me and worship me." But Jesus said, "Go away, Satan, for the scriptures say, kneel before the Lord your God and worship only him." At once, the accuser left him, and angels suddenly gathered around Jesus to minister to his needs. Okay, not sure if you guys had an opportunity to read this verse, and it's really good. Um, So now we are going to see in two different segments. Okay, the first one I'm going to talk to you guys about how Jesus, what was the temptation, okay, and how Jesus tackled it. Okay, and then I'm going to also tell you, share with you how fasting might have potentially enabled. First is one element, one of the elements, and how it might have enabled him to tackle the temptation. That being said, my focus is really not to force or compel anybody into fasting, but I'm just sharing these things with you. Okay, so yeah, so now first thing is to turn the stones into bread. All right. So what was the whole thing all about? The whole thing is about the physical need. We all have physical need, and we really want instant gratification. Okay. We really want like 2 minutes. Earlier days, it used to happen like so many hours of cooking, and now the technology and science has advanced so much. Everything. You don't even really have to cook. You just order Swiggy, Zomato, or even now there are so many other options available. You just 10 minutes, food is at the door, right? Or you want anything, you want to entertainment, Netflix is there, Amazon is there, everything is there at the door. Okay, we all are so used to the comfort of life, instant gratification. Okay, now turning the stones into bread, meaning Satan is tempting, okay, the devil is tempting Jesus to satisfy his hunger. Okay, this hunger could be anything. It could be uh, hunger for pride, or hunger for influence, or hunger for fame and name, or hunger for material needs, hunger for money, or hunger for authority, or it could be hunger for the physical needs. Like, okay, it could be anything, material possession. Okay, now Jesus gave, because Jesus was very clear. He had the mental clarity, and he was very thorough in scriptures. He was able to tell on the face, okay? Immediately, he didn't have to go to his pastor, go to the father and say, "Oh my God, I'm suffering with this." As such, modern day Christians, some of us, like all of us, would say, "Oh, poor thing, I'm 40 days, I'm fasted, and now only this one has to come and tempt me, or what? And what shall I do now? Maybe a little bit I can, try and then see, and all that." So he was very clear what he wanted and who he was. Okay. If you see in the Bible, the Pharisees and Sadducees, all the people who are very upset with Jesus, one of the major problems they had with Jesus was his identity. He always said, "I'm the son of God." That really put them off. Okay. And he also went around doing things that people have never done. And there was a major fan following. And also, um, he did things so differently. Okay. He was breaking all the law. Okay. He came to fulfill the law, but he was never religious. Okay. And, um, and he did things so differently. Okay. And he really healed the people, and he had food with tax collectors, and he met with a Samaritan woman at the well, and he was just doing things. So he was a reformer, he was a revolutionist, right? He was doing things so differently. That's what really put people off. And also he said that, "Okay, I'm the son of God, I came from the father," and all these things. The identity was always the problem. So the people blamed him that he was blaspheming. Okay, so now for this response, okay, what Jesus said: "Man shall not live by bread alone." Okay, we must understand that we need material things, but that's not our only reason. That's not the only reason that we live for, and that shouldn't really overtake everything else that we have, that we are so obsessed with. What shall I eat? What shall I do? What shall I watch? What shall I do next? It becomes a real pressure on us. The flesh is really taken over. But now he says, right, okay, "Man shall not live by bread alone," okay, "but every word that comes out of from the mouth of God." Okay. Now, what is the lesson here? Trust in God's provision. Okay. We may not have what we really dreaming of. Okay. But we could really start with a little bit of gratitude. And if we really know the scriptures, okay, very well, and then we will not, we will be able to resist the temptation. Okay. Instead of seeking immediate satisfaction. Okay. I know the many people come and say, today I lost so much, few lakhs of money in gambling. People really want instant gratification. Okay. Immediate satisfaction. Okay. Through the worldly means. Okay. So the temptation was to turn the stones into bread to satisfy his needs, material needs, the physical hunger. But he said, no, I'm not going to live by bread alone, but every word that comes out of the mouth of God. Okay. Now, second temptation is jumping from the temple. Okay. And it is all about what is he saying? Satan's telling, taken, he's transporting Jesus. I was reading, it's like, really, okay, I never paid attention to this one. He's transporting, he had the permission to take Jesus to the pinnacle of the temple and telling him, jump. Okay. Quoting Psalms 91, implying that the angels would catch him. Okay. Now, now what is Jesus's response? He's saying, do not put the Lord your God to the test. Okay. You should know who you are. Okay. You are the son of God. I know I'm the son of God. Okay. I know who my father is. And just to prove a point. Okay. Many times we do a lot of things to just to prove a point. Okay. Um, um, we do things that we should not be doing. You all know, right? We will be retaliating impulsively. We will be backbiting. We'll be gossiping. We will be spreading rumors, or we'll be doing some things that we really should not be doing, right? So do not put the Lord, and then many times people will say, when the people come for prayer and say, yeah, hey, why you have not been there? No, I don't have a job, and I don't have a I'm not getting married, and this and that. Okay, I'll probably come. I'm not seeing anything different. I've gone to so many places and I'm not seeing anything different. I'm come here because I want to see something different. Yeah, maybe once I get married, probably I will attend I'll participate in the uh, group sessions and things like that. Okay. So we are putting a condition. Okay. We really asking God to prove his love by laying forth certain conditions. Okay. God should kind of meet our needs, and dance to our tune to prove that he is God, without having the belief that he really loves us unconditionally. Okay. So many times we do things, lot of things, terms and conditions. If I pass in this exam, maybe I will come and light one candle. Many people, like I used to live in a hostel, and then of course I don't blame them. The warden of the hostel say, I'm writing masters and I have already failed twice. um, इस बार मैं लिख रही हूँ, इस बार मैं पास हो जाऊंगी तो आपके साथ मैं चर्च आ जाऊंगी. I'll come to the church, you pray for me, I'll come to the church, I'll light a candle if I pass this year. Okay. um, so that's a condition to come to the church. Okay. So that is from a very place of not being aware, not having experience. So we had to just pray and help her to go from one place to the other place. But even the people who accepted Christ and those who are in Christianity, we put the Lord to test several times. Okay. Why? When we enter into difficulty, why only me, God? We get victimized. Why only me? Why not the other person? We really don't know what the other person is suffering or going through, right? Question the Lord, okay, out of unbelief, asking why only this, why only that, why can't I have this, why I don't get my business, why I don't get married, why I don't get this job, why I don't get promotion. Okay. Courteously, one of the biggest sin, okay, is unbelief. One of the biggest sin is unbelief. It's not about smoking, drinking. Yeah, those things are going to affect your health and it will have repercussions, but unbelief, okay, that's a that's really we have to tackle that, okay. So what's the lesson from here? We must not test God to demand miraculous signs. We don't only test God, we land up testing our preachers, our pastors, and leaders also. We really weigh each and every leader or the pastor. What's the strength of your church? What kind of signs and wonders this so and so is doing, this one doing, that one doing? Oh, this church is good for this is good for that. But what about you? Right? So we can't really polarize and give weight to people based on the performances. Okay. I always, this is my favorite thing to say, don't be performing, don't be seeking validation. Okay. Don't judge the book, don't judge a person by what they are doing, the actions, their performances, and theatrics, and all that. Look at their life, how holy they are. What are the fruits in that person's life? How much love they have, how much patience they have, how much forgiveness they have. How passionate are they to serve the people? Look at the fruits of the Spirit. Don't be carried away by performance oriented things, okay. A night stage and this and that is all really good, but what is being in the public has to match with the private as well, okay. So don't put the Lord and this is my version, my humble submission, don't put the Lord and your leaders to test. Trust in them, they are also human beings, they are not a magician, they are not 24 hours, they are supposed to be functioning supernaturally. So some of us really put so much demand on the leaders and the pastors, and then we blame them, we outsource all our failures to them, okay. So, but if we know the scriptures, okay, we will not, we will really know the identity that I am the son of God, I am the daughter of God, okay. God loves me unconditionally, okay. And whether he does something or not, whether my needs are met or not, I know that he loves me unconditionally. And that's the reason he died for me 2000 years ago, okay. Are you guys tracking with me?
Yes, Chitra.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. So the third one, okay, worshiping Satan for worldly power. Okay. Who doesn't like power? Okay. What is one of the important desires of the basic need of human being is that everybody want to feel loved. Everybody want to feel accepted. Everybody want to feel appreciated, right? So we all want to feel good. We all want to have power, right? I'm a HR manager, or I'm a VP, I'm a CEO, I have these skills. We are very proud of, or I'm a business owner, I'm a student, a topper. I like to say about myself in my biodata, in my resume, that I'm an award-winning program manager, right? I can really run so many projects, so many programs, 66 clients. When I was in IBM, I worked for 66 clients, trust me. And I had a 44-member team, okay? So we can really get things moving, okay? So we all are really want to feel powerful, and so that's the reason when I ask somebody, what do you do? Oh, yeah, I'm a programmer, I'm a developer. Okay. So our identity is more connected with the titles and the power and this qualification and all that, right? So how many times we compromise, okay, many things we compromise for the sake of having power, worldly power, okay. So Satan offered Jesus all the kingdoms of the world if he would worship, okay. Many times we compromise a lot of things, we compromise our values, okay, we compromise ourselves, we become a slave to work, we become slave to our desires, our addictions, and we compromise, and we go to the things, and we make many things as an idol. Okay, now we can say, okay, in the Old Testament, the Israelites made, what do you call, the cow, and they worshipped. And now we have so many other ways to make an idol, right? We have social media being top number one, right? Everybody who is not addicted to social media, okay? And there's so many other things are there. We compromise our values, we compromise our relationship, we compromise our life by for to just to maybe what happens in social media. We do a post, okay, we write a Instagram video or a Facebook post, and then it's very tempting to go and check back how many likes have come, who has commented, how to increase the view, all that thing, right? It really gives us a dopamine shot every time somebody likes our video and things. So these are all a part of instant gratification. Okay, trust me, guys. Okay, social media and media is driving the way human beings are operating. The whole perceptions, the values, everything being driven through all these things. It's all a very big strategy. And so, but as the manifest sons of God, as sons and daughters of God, we got to take authority over ourselves, over our flesh, and allow the spirit man to lead us. Okay. So here Jesus' response is, worship the Lord your God and serve him only. Okay. Many times we worship our work, our house, our children, and so many things. We forget who our creator is, right? We compromise and we make so many things as idols, right? So we must remain faithful to God and reject the shortcuts. Many times we do a lot of shortcuts and compromise a lot of things just for a very quick victory or a very quick influence or power. Okay, so that's about uh, three temptations. Shall I go ahead for another 5 to 10 minutes? Are you guys okay with that, or should we go for meditation? Okay, all of you are saying yes. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a very quick um, presentation on scientific perspective on fasting. Okay, that being said, I would like to repeat that I'm not asking you guys to fast. Okay, that's not my intention. But you would, if you would like to, in some form, well and good. Okay. Mm, all right. Share button. Hold on. Take it to second screen. 1 minute. Share button. Yes, I got it. Can you all see my screen? Give me a thumbs up.
Yes, Chitra.
Okay, very good. Some perspective on how the fasting really affects us. Okay, scientific perspective on fasting. Fasting really impacts the body and brain in ways that enhance self-control. Okay, many of you have approached me earlier also that how do I overcome the patterns and cycles? Okay, we are going to see, right? It enhances the self-control. Okay, if we really have lack of control in some areas in our life, really fasting can help you. And also many times we really don't take the right decision because of lack of clarity. Okay, and many times we react and take decisions, wrong decisions, maybe because of emotional triggers. So all of which contribute to a greater discipline over fleshly desires. Okay, next one is self-control. Let's see how fasting enables self-control. Fasting improves self-control by strengthening the prefrontal cortex. Okay, prefrontal cortex is it is here, and it is the brain's control center, and it's responsible for decision making, self-discipline, and resisting impulsive behaviors. Okay, maybe impulsive eating, or maybe impulsive watching movies, or impulsive doing anything. Okay, studies show that fasting enhance cognitive function. Okay, if we can do fasting, it really enhances the cognitive functions and also help us to have self-regulation, willpower, emotional regulations. Okay, and really through all these things, it really helps us control the cravings. Okay, we all have cravings for different things. Some people have for chapati, some for rice, some for sugar, some for movies, some for non-veg, some for fried things. Okay, so fasting enables self-control. That's simple way of saying it. Next is, we all really go to do the social media because it gives us a dopamine. Okay, we all don't, some of us don't know, when you post something and the number of likes are increasing, shares are increasing, your views are increasing, then you really feel good because it's a dopamine shot you're getting every time. Okay, that's why you go back and forth, and you keep scrolling it. Okay, one way of being addicted to social media is because you want to escape from the reality. You really don't want to deal with the reality. So that's how people get into movies, and then we get addicted to social media. Okay, food, social media, and other pleasures really releases a dopamine in our brain, and dopamine is a feel good factor. Okay, because a neurotransmitter is linked to pleasure and reward. Okay, and dopamine fasting. Okay, meaning if you are doing fasting, then we can fasting from food. Like we said, we discussed in the poll that you can fast from anything. Okay, it really helps. It helps to reset the reward system. Okay, and so that we will not be so dependent on the dopamine. Okay, dopamine dependency is reduced when we do fasting. I hope I'm clear. Next is, many of us, I have suffered with inflammation, and it helps. So fasting helps lower the inflammation and also enhances the mental clarity. Now, many times people, I can't, you can go ahead and Google the number of diseases caused because of the inflammation in the body. Okay. And chronic inflammation is linked to stress, anxiety, and impulsive behaviors. Fasting triggers autophagy. Okay. It basically cleans up cleanup is happening at the cellular level, which helps in reducing the inflammation. Okay, and then therefore it helps in mental clarity. We have a doctor, I mean MBBS student here. I'm sure he would agree with all these, making spiritual practices like prayer and meditation more effective. Now, that being said, like I'm talking about fasting because we started with that, but definitely there are other factors also involved, like meditating, calming ourselves, and also listening to the word, reading scriptures, um, and um, uh, meditation, and of course, being with a community matters a lot. Okay. Fourth is fasting regulates the hormones linked to discipline and self-control. Okay, so much of self-control, willpower, and all the dopamine dependency reduction. So many things are happening here, guys. Increased, I don't know how to pronounce it, norepinephrine. Fasting boosts that specific um, norepinephrine, improving focus and alertness, making it easier to stay disciplined. Okay. I know many of us get really impulsive with many things, right? So it really helps us to stay disciplined, not being impulsive. Okay. And also, I was really mind blown when I was reading this. It helps. It helps us to balance the blood sugar levels. India is like number one in diabetes and all kind of heart disease and all that, the lifestyle diseases, right? So fasting also improves insulin sensitivity, preventing the sugar crashes that lead to irritability and loss of self-control. Okay, sugar craving can lead us to irritability, and loss of self-control. Next is it strengthens the willpower by training the brain to resist impulses. Okay, fasting is a form of delayed gratification. Okay, we are not getting instant gratification. We are taking the flesh under control. Okay, and it also strengthens the neural pathways associated with self-control. Okay, just as and I also said like fasting and exercising. If we really learn to do exercise on a regular basis, it's a kind of bringing in discipline in life, and that discipline again spills over many other areas in our life. Okay, just as exercise strengthens the muscles, fasting strengthens the brain's ability to resist temptation. Okay, many times the prayers come like I'm tempted with this, I'm tempted with that, I'm not able to get over this addiction, that. So one of the things you can try is to fast. Okay, fast something little bit, whatever is possible, whether it is food related or spiritual. Okay, so practical applications, fasting and self-discipline really, regular fasting really helps us with the self-control. And like I mentioned, scripture, meditation, and prayer really, Jesus was fasting, he was also spending time in prayer, and he knew the scriptures so thoroughly, right? So he was able to, he was able to resist the devil's temptation and did not believe in the lies of the devil, right? So accountability and community. Okay, you can be accountable. Many times people say I'm not able to do this, I want to do but I'm not able to. They say okay, have a coach or have a accountability partner, whether it is for exercise or for accountability, how much you want to eat and how much you watch and how much you spend, waste time and all that stuff, right? Surrounding ourselves with some good people who would not judge us but help us to be accountable really will be useful. Next is delayed gratification. Again, we have already discussed about it, that the fasting really helps. And serving God over worldly desires. Many times, when we don't have anything, little money comes, little fame comes, little job comes, and business comes, then we forget the whole thing. I'm busy with this, I'm busy with that. So the worldly material things takes priority once we get what we want from God, right? But prioritizing faith, having integrity, and being able to have that kind of willpower and prioritizing and able to see something beyond, greater than ourselves really helps. Okay, Jesus came to accomplish the will of the Father. He came for a mission, so he was really focused on that, and he did not get distracted. Okay, so that being said, um, I I believe we can start the meditation now. We will go for meditation just for 10 minutes, if that's okay. I'll put the timer for 10 minutes. Okay. Now, uh, you can set intentions uh, and then go into the void, or you can just simply go into the void and ask what the Father has to tell you. Okay, I'd really encourage you guys to note down in your journal whatever. If you get anything from the Lord, just note it down. Put day to 7th March, Friday, and say this is what the Father spoke to me. It will really help you. Okay, so I'm going to start. I'm going to pause the recording and start it.